made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board a ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
All right, a couple safety reminders while we head inside. Make sure you stay seated for all of this. This is going to get very bumpy and bouncy. In fact, we're going to throw you around a lot in here, so I want you to hold on to everything, okay? Hold on to all loose items. Don't want to lose anything inside. And you'll want to get those 3D glasses ready to go. There's going to be things happening all around you. We're going to meet all the inhabitants of Skull Island, not just King Kong, but some giant T-Rexes, and yes, maybe even a giant spider while we're in there.
The Universal Tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. In a sense, this is like a mini sequel, a mini continuation. We're just taking the Kong and Skull Island and the dinosaurs that we established in our feature film, and this is another day, another incident on Skull Island, using the creatures and the character and personality of Kong as he appears in the movie.
All right, our sequel begins now. Welcome back to Skull Island.
Okay, glasses on, everybody. We're back in Skull Island.
King Kong. We all made it. King Kong 360 3D. Put you right in the middle of the action. Technically, King Kong has been on this tour since 1986. So if I have anyone that rode the tour a while ago, You might remember our old King Kong. He was building the Metro sets. He would shake the tram around. He smelled like bananas. He lasted until 2008. This one joined us in 2010. It's a little over 10 years old at this point. All thanks to the team at Weta Effects. Weta Effects, the brilliant company that made the movie King Kong, that made this for us as well. You can see Peter Jackson and his team on your screens. Kind of a little behind the scenes vignette here. The hydraulics move us around inside that stage, and we drive in between two giant movie screens that are 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. We use 16 digital projectors inside the stage.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, it is indeed. We're going to shift gears, however, talk about a different type of ride. Coming up on your left, some of our favorite picture cars are on display. So, like I mentioned earlier, picture cars are any vehicle we use on camera. We got some beautiful ones here, including one of the bumblebees from Transformers. And we got some cars that are really good examples of how we depict time period using vehicles. Some of the future cars from the second Back to the Future film right there. These are the cars they thought we'd be driving by the year 2015. We also have Stone Age vehicles created out of fiberglass for the Flintstones. No engines built inside those. We got a Ford Anglia from the second Warner Brothers Harry Potter film. They used over 16 versions of that car to make that movie. We have some Jurassic vehicles, including the Gyrosphere from Jurassic World that Jimmy Fallon also hosted. And we have some Jordan Peele vehicles, including the Fries van from his movie Nope and the Crawdaddy boat from his movie Us. A couple of Transformers vehicles here at the end. The Bradley fighting vehicles made mostly of pressed plywood, so it's lightweight. We do modify our picture cars when they have to do any sort of action on camera, especially if stunts look a little bit like this. Multiple versions of the same car are often needed to do all the different shots, like the Jurassic Park Jeep here on your right, used in Jurassic World. It was the one the boys discover allows them to escape the Indominus Rex. So it was used in a lot of the movie, which meant we had to do close-ups of the actors, maybe inside a soundstage in a half a version of the car. We might do driving shots with camera rigs on the windshield. And then, of course, we're going to have to do some action sequences with those, heavily modifying them, especially they're going back to dinosaur territory.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, looks like we're surrounded. We got cages and boats and RVs and trucks, and everything you are looking at around you is actually used on screen in the first 3 Jurassic Park films. That, of course, is Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3, the original trilogy, which did principal photography here at the studio. So a lot of the stuff was actually used inside our front lot sound. Oh no, we got Dilophosaurus! Watch out! No! No! Oh, they're deadly. They're deadly. Oh no, they see everyone. Spinosaurus on your left side. A little dino action for everyone. Love Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite movies. It came out 30 years ago, 1993. It's an incredible film. ILM Industrial Light and Magic did the digital effects, which were a breakthrough, especially for that time. Stan Winston Studios created the mechanical dinosaurs, and you can see both of those things employed in this scene right here. It's from The Lost World, the second movie. So this was actually shot here on the lot, mostly in the front lot, except for a couple digital shots that made it look like there was a cliff wall involved, like that right there. But everything else in this sequence was practical. We used the wooden RV that you just saw on the roadway there to hang it vertically over the side of the employee parking garage in the front lot for that last and final shot right there. Obviously, we had to add in a lot of surrounding elements greenery, but also a lot of weather. So you kind of bring the tropical island feel to life. Now, weather can add also just a lot of tension to your scene. So we're going to create a little storm system here for you, starting with some thunder, actually lightning. You can kind of see it right now. And then we're going to layer in a third thing here just to bring it in camera. Some rain. Now, notice it's only raining in certain places, right? Because we're controlling this. So we don't have to have the rain happening everywhere. We don't want the crew getting wet. We just want everything in front of the camera getting wet, ultimately. So rain has that nice bit of suspense, prevents the characters from escaping, attracts them, isolates them, does all those things, puts the audience just a little more on the edge of their seat. That's why you see a lot of rain in horror films or even action movies. Now, rain is created with our sprinklers. It's getting rain for the trail. Watch it. Woo! That's our flash flood coming right at us. That is the oldest attraction on the studio tour. Been with us since 1968. Here it is on camera. A big fat liar. You can't outrun the wolf, kid. Yeah, look at that. Lady Gaga also stood in that flood for her music video Judas that was filmed in this corner of the lot. So was the Janet Jackson music video Escapade as well. This corner is called Old Mexico. It was featured in Nacho Libre with Jack Black. It was also used in Three Amigos many years ago. Used for episodes of things like Star Trek Picard on Paramount Plus, as well as an episode of HBO's Westworld. This is our Western location. Now, think about it. Back in the early days of the studio, we were making lots of silent westerns. They say from 1914 to 15, we made 200 silent westerns. So the whole lot had a lot of western sets on it. We've kind of condensed it into this one street here. It was used for an episode of Quantum Leap in its first season when they leapt back to the 1800s. And, of course, this was used by Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Leo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and a lot of great scenes from that Columbia Pictures film that shot out here. Now, over the years, a lot of big name actors at one point or another played a cowboy in this area of the lot.
Dare you hit that man?
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
Little Cowboy Logic there with John Wayne and Kirk Douglas. This is where we did the Virginian Wagon Train in the 40s. My Little Chickadee with Mae West filmed out here. Now, one of the things you do have to worry about when you film out here is right in the middle of our lot, and the buildings here are a little bit older, so a lot of them are what we call facades, which are just kind of false fronts, especially the one here on your left side. You can see right through the windows, and you can see that there's nothing inside it. So we got to cover them up with curtains, or we maybe put digital mountains here at the end of the street, covering up the big sound stages over here. 30 through 33 is where we filmed The Voice. The Voice is currently in season 24. Reba McEntire's the new coach this season. We've had The Voice here for, wow, over 15 years, I think, at this point. We bring in a live studio audience for almost every episode of that. It is such a fun series to have here at the studio. Now, we have a little body of water here. It's kind of through the trees to your left side called Park Lake. Park Lake's a man-made lake. We've had it here for decades. You can see it here in Creature from the Black Lagoon back in the 50s. All the above water scenes like those were actually shot out in Little Park Lake. Underwater scenes were done in Florida. They had two actors play the gill man. They combined the footage, released the movie in 3D, and became a very popular monster movie for us. And if there is one genre Universal is known for, it is monster movies. We started making them back in the 1920s. In fact, one of our movies is celebrating 100 years this year, and that is Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. It came out in 1923. This entire back half of the lot was devoted to this giant European village set. Nowadays, we have satellite dishes and sound stages back here, but it used to look like what you can see on your screens. Now, we still have a little bit of cobblestone left here at the studio. This is called Little Europe. Little Europe was used by Disney as Genovia and Princess Diaries, a royal engagement. This area was in Pirates of the Caribbean as Port Royale. was used in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella with Brandy Whitney Houston many years ago. Netflix's The School for Good and Evil used this as a fairy tale village a little more recently. But for 4 years, this all was the afterlife in a wonderful show we did here called The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Yeah, how can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome. No, that show was so awesome. Here for all 4 years. It was nominated for 13 Emmys. In its 4-year run, we loved having it here. Almost every episode featured Little Europe. It was its main location. So go check it out. It all streams now on Netflix. And yes, TV's kind of taken over every part of the lot. Bel Air uses the gray and white house here to your left side as the influencer house in the show. However, the roots of this area and honestly the studio lie with our movie monsters.
When we think of Universal, we think of the monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera. Classic films. They're just brilliantly made. That Frankenstein image, flathead, bolt, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. And I was just mesmerized by this movie. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney. I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me. They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
Yes, another one of our monsters is celebrating 90 years this month, and that is The Invisible Man with Claude Rains, Gloria Stewart. That came out in 1933. And our monster legacy is huge here. Our relationship with horror continues to be very strong. We, of course, work with modern horror filmmakers like Jordan Peele, Blumhouse, responsible for our current release in theaters, Five Nights at Freddy's, as well as James Wan's Atomic Monster, and Guillermo del Toro, who is working on a new version of Frankenstein with Oscar Isaac, Andrew Garfield, and Mia Goth. It sounds amazing. All right, I'll let you know we're a little bit past the halfway point on the tour. Just want to remind everyone to stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord. I'll be back to assist you. But please remain seated on the tram. So we are about to turn onto Steven Spielberg Drive, the longest road that we have here on the lot, which makes sense as far as directors go. He's had by far the longest relationship with us here, a relationship that he says started when he took this tour as a teenager.
When I was about, 16 years old, and I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. When I went to college nearby, I continued to come on the lot and try to become a director. Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is a place I consider my first home, and I love it here. And I keep coming back.
Yes, it makes sense that Steven Spielberg Drive heads right into the heart of Amity Island, which of course was the small town from the movie Jaws. We're going to take you right down by the water here in Amity, so be careful, hold on tight to everything. Some of you may remember Amity is a perfect vacation spot, yes, but they do have a bit of a shark problem here, so we got to watch out while we are here in Amity Island. Oh. Uh-oh, do you see that? That doesn't look good. Yeah, we got another shark in the water. Oh, I think he sees our diver. Yeah, our diver's out there. It's okay, our diver's been trained. I'm sure he knows what to do in this situation. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Okay, you know what? We're going to pull forward. No biggie. We will keep you safe back here behind all of the gasoline barrels. We attach a bait to the yellow barrel out in the water. Looks like the truck took it. Uh-oh. You took the gas line. Uh-oh. Watch out! He found us. close and personal with our resident shark. A nice taste of the movie Jaws. So Jaws was released in 1975. This movie was a humongous success. It became the #1 movie of all time. It went on to become the first ever blockbuster. And it made a household name out of director Steven Spielberg. Now, he did not have it easy. Jaws was pretty challenging, especially considering the fact that the mechanical shark they made for the film pretty much broke on the first day of production.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited. The shark worked well enough for a while there, and had the biggest involved. So I did over shark a lot.
We're going to leave Amity Island behind, heading into our residential area. Little houses and neighborhoods all around us here used for filming. The White House on our right was originally built as the Chicken Ranch in the movie musical The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. However, Rob Zombie used it as the House of 1,000 Corpses in his horror film. We've used it for TV, of course, over the years. Episodes of things like Murder, She Wrote, About a Boy, The Mentalist, The Old Quantum Leap, The New Quantum Leap have all shot episodes inside that house. It is a fully practical set, meaning you can use it both inside and outside. A little unusual. A lot of the houses here on the lot are just used for their exteriors, and that is kind of true on what we call Colonial Street, the street that we're heading into right now. This street was built in the 80s. We used it for a movie called The Burbs with Tom Hanks, but it got very recognizable in the early 2000s when ABC's Desperate Housewives moved in. This is Wisteria Lane. Used for Never Have I Ever on Netflix. Main character Davy's house is the yellow one to your left side. So you know that show. She's played by Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. Wonderful show. All 4 seasons are currently out on Netflix. Check it out. It actually all filmed here at Universal. Wonderful, wonderful series. We're going to be using this for the upcoming show Ted. It's playing early 90s Boston for that. And it will be appearing in the upcoming holiday film Candy Cane Lane with Eddie Murphy and Tracy Ellis Ross coming out on Amazon Prime this holiday season. If you check the trailer, you can actually see a bit of Colonial Street in it. Now, the beauty of filming here, well, one, you get the whole neighborhood when you run out the street. So you can do whatever you want to the neighborhood. No one actually lives here. They aren't real houses. So you want to put the garage on the other side, add a 3rd story to a house? Sure, go ahead. Or if you want to destroy them, all right, go ahead as well. Desperate Housewives did that on several occasions. Now, the purple house is now going to be on your right side. It's the old Munsters house. This might be the most historic house on the street. That was used for the 1960s TV show, The Munsters. That was 1313 Mockingbird Lane. So when we started this tour in 1964, that was one of the most famous sets that we had here that everyone came here to see. Let me give you a little look at Colonial Street on your screens. Even this area of the lot can be used on film. It's called Wilderness Road because it often plays that for camera. Let's see, for the Netflix movie Bird Box, they built a campsite set in this region of the lot. We have about 80 acres of undeveloped property here at Universal. So yeah, if you need to do a hiking trail, a little campsite scene, something like that, this area works really well for it. We've actually had a lot of car crash sequences done on this roadway. So it was used for an episode of 911 on Fox where they did a big limousine accident. They did another limousine accident at the end of Never Have I Ever. It was actually done the same roadway. And a flip-over accident and an episode of Desperate Housewives as well. Actually, right around the corner, we have a few more picture cars to show you. They're going to be on the right side here as we make the turn. Things like Mr. Bean's Holidays represented here with the neon yellow Mini Cooper, movie star Rowan Atkinson. And then we got a lot of Fast and Furious vehicles out here, including Dom's Black Dodge Charger, maybe the most famous car from the franchise. The Plymouth Roadrunner sitting next to us from Furious 7. And then we actually have a couple cars from the second movie as well, sitting kind of in this front line up there. I'll let you know we're about 15 minutes away from the end of the tour. We'll be returning you to the theme park shortly. Once again, if you have an emergency, pull the cord. I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated on the tram, especially since we're heading into the creepy corner of the lot, right next to the Bates Motel and Mother's house from Psycho. So you might see the remnants right now of Halloween Horror Nights. This was part of our Terror Tram attraction. So people would walk out here and get chased around by scary monsters. But Psycho was all about the monster that was Norman Bates, played by Anthony Perkins on screen. It came out in 1960. This movie is considered by many to be Alfred Hitchcock's greatest film, one of the greatest films of all time. It shot almost entirely here at Universal. In fact, the house that we're approaching, you can see on your left and on your screen. This is the original house, so it is a piece of Hollywood history. Oh, I think Norman Bates is out to say hi. Hey, Norman. All right, we're not going to bug him. You can be a little particular. So, hey, Norman, so good to see you. How's it going? It's a knife. Okay, we're going to keep going. It was close. It was close. It's okay. He'll never find us around the corner. We're going to hide out in the plane crash set. This is a pretty phenomenal set. It was created for a movie called War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds came out in 2005. It starred Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, Tim Robbins. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. The production designer, he used Rick Carter. He has worked with a lot. He also created sets for things like Jurassic Park for him. And they decided this location, one, they could only do on a back lot because they had to ultimately destroy a neighborhood for it. And well, obviously the biggest part of this set is the plane. The plane was real. It was a plane they purchased for about $60,000 from an airport out in the desert. So each piece had to be trucked here piece by piece on flatbed trucks. And then they kind of propped it up, put the wings in place, kind of got everything in place for the scene that they would shoot here. The houses are replicas of a New Jersey neighborhood where the beginning of the scene was shot. And then they had to replicate it here. So we actually have had guests ride the tour and say that they live in one of these houses, which is kind of fun. They use tons of debris. We've cleaned it up a little bit since the film, but you still get a real nice sense of what this looks like on camera. Here is the scene from War of the Worlds.
The airplane that crashed inside set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Stephen had.
Again, to sit down to talk about War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going. Now, you close your eyes, okay? Get them closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Of course, War of the Worlds is an old story. It was written in the 1800s by H.G. Wells, and then told on radio in the 30s by Orson Welles. That one was pretty famous because he had to publicly apologize because America panicked, thought the Martians had actually attacked. And then in the 50s, there was a movie. This one came out in 2005. If you know the movie, The Grandparents, in its latest incarnation, were the two stars of the 1950s film. So it's a little nod to the legacy of War of the Worlds. And Rick Carter, constant collaborator with Steven Spielberg. I mean, we cannot do any of these fantastic, magical moments that we have on screen without all the hundreds of people that work behind the scenes. We work with some of the most talented and skilled professionals in the world. When it comes to the hundreds of people that make up our crew, it's kind of incredible when you see what they do day to day. Especially the ones that work in our stunts and our pyrotechnics, our camera operators, our grips, our lighting department. All the people that work on set, our PAs, everyone has to be involved in order to make it happen. It kind of truly takes a village to make a movie or a TV show. You can see little snippets here and there of different productions we have done. If you've never gotten to see kind of a film set, sometimes it's hard to see who's actually on camera because there's literally like 100 or 200 people around behind the camera that we need in order to make this stuff come to life. Someone that knows a lot about collaboration is Academy Award-winning writer and director Jordan Peele. And for the next part of the tour, we're going to take you through one of his sets from his movie Nope. It's called Jupiter's Claim. A lot happens in the movie in this set, so I'm going to let Jordan Peele guide us through it. Here we go.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lab Experience, built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, rolling rush front town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world. No. I wanted to watch that movie. Oh my god, that's
Oh, it's creepy. Jupiter's Claim. Gotta check out Nope. It's now streaming. It's great. Scary, suspenseful. Lots going on in that film. Now, this they filmed most of the movie up in Agua Dulce, kind of a little desert town, a little north of us, and they reassembled Jupiter's Claim actually here on the lot. The set is designed by production designer Ruth DeYoung. She previously worked with Jordan Peele on his movie Us. She also was the production designer for Oppenheimer, so we're really honored to have a set of hers actually here on the lot. If you have never seen Nope, or if it's been a while, here's one of the stars, Keke Palmer, to talk to you a little bit about it.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Keke Palmer from Jordan Peele's film Nope. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's Claim.
Did you see a UFO in the cloud?
Yeah. No.
I ain't never seen nothing like this.
No. Are you ready?
The cast includes Daniel Kaluuya, Stephen Yeun. It is fantastic. Check out Nope. But for now, we're going to wrap the tour, put you in your own action sequence from Fast and Furious. A reminder to stay seated, hold on to everything. Eventually, it gets pretty bumpy in here. And I will tell you when to put on those 3D glasses. For now, I'm going to let Special Agent Luke Hobbs take over. He's a little more equipped.
I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge. The hell you are. Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection. You feel like muted. Okay. Don't you? My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. Roman Pierce. That's right. You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? You're under arrest right now. I just back up a little bit. You got slightly. First of all, I don't work for you. Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for? We don't work for you. Let's just clear out here, otherwise we can't get into your city. Guarantee my safety, I'm the one holding the gun. Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. That ugly Uno, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family is protected.
Are you kidding me, Gordon? Did you show off your phone?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the next thing. Call you back. It was on vibrate. Move that vehicle.
It's like
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you won't get tried.
This is our turn.
Let's get out of here.
You know, it's crazy out there.
You know, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
That is what we call Fast and Furious Supercharged, paying homage to our most successful film franchise, Fast and Furious. Universal Pictures Fast X is now streaming on Peacock. Check it out. And as we wrap up the tour, check out the beautiful view. Sun has just started to set here on the right side. Our home in the San Fernando Valley, home to so many studios out there, so many thousands of us that work in the industry, putting in countless hours behind the scenes or in front of the camera, all in the pursuit of telling a great story. Something our founder, Carl Lemley, said he wanted to do over a century ago. We're so proud.